looking real dope right now. That's what they would say in the ethnic areas, or even I guess like white, trailer trash areas. Is we're looking dope. That was more like a 2010, 2011 thing. I just rewatched Jersey Shore, so I feel like I need to say the word dope and bro a lot, And we're rocking the Oakley sunglasses, looking like Action Bronson right now. The skinny Action Bronson shouts out. Okay, shouts out. And wearing a Raja Caruth shirt because the Truck Series is back and we're going to get into all the bets. It's a Friday morning betting show, baby. Okay, we're feeling good. You're probably seeing the reflection of everything behind me right now. How about we take these off, huh? If you're on the YouTube. Okay, let's take these off, doggy. Because you can see probably everything behind me. You don't need to see. You don't need to see. That was probably a really bad idea. You can see that I got trash all behind this thing. Welcome to the HOT PASS Podcast. Welcome to the Friday morning betting show. We're going to have a good one. The Truck Series is back. We're down in Nashville. We could party it up on Broadway. We're going to Nashville next year. Okay, so make sure to follow the HOT PASS Podcast and the adventures that we have. Okay, so make sure to go to the HOT PASS Podcast wherever you get your audio podcast, whether it's Spotify, good Lord, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your audio podcasts, and make sure to go over there and leave us a 5-star rating. Helps out the pod, right? Helps out the algorithm. Then go over to the YouTube, go to the HOT PASS Podcast on YouTube, subscribe to us there. All right? That would be fantastic. Comment, like, share the podcast. It's fantastic. That's good things for you and the good things for me because then we grow the community. This is what it's all about, right? And sharing your boy. Then go to @FurlongEric_ on social media. All right? Go over there. And then follow me there. See all the social media posts I make. And then you can go to the Action Network. The link is in the bio wherever you get to the podcast. And go and see any sort of bets that we hit. We hit an exact score bet on the Euro Cup. Put $10 on it and made $440 on it earlier this week. It's been a fantastic couple of days. And a fantastic week. Betting on NASCAR and the Euro Cup. We're fucking insanely wealthy over the last week and a half. Okay, baby? So make sure @FurlongEric_ on social media and go to everywhere you can get my podcast, YouTube and Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to the podcast, and leave a rate, like, and share, and subscribe, and the notification bells. Okay? Let's dive in to the goddamn podcast. We have a couple of things I want to talk about before we get in to the betting cards. All right? There's something that's been really crazy on social media, and I know that a lot of people, and I've been big into gaming for years, and that it might be a bit of a hot topic. Okay, you know what? Let's toss on a hat. I don't like my bald head sticking out right now. Let's just toss this hat on. Ooh, 23XI. You're gonna find out later on in the Cup Series where we're headed, baby. Give it to me, baby, one time. Mentally, retarded. Okay. Scratching my eyes. My eyes are itchy. You know what? We lacked enthusiasm on Monday. And I apologize for that. I was very upset with how the race ended with the bets. And, we're working our way back to a happy boy Eric, crazy Eric, lunatic Eric. How about that? I have the Canada Day long weekend this weekend, so I get to just chill, hang out. It's been my first week back to work in months. It's been a good week. Also found out a guy... How about this? We're bouncing all over the place. We're going to talk about the doctor disrespect stuff or whatever because we talk about everything on this podcast, including bets. And we're going to get to that. We're going to skip to about maybe 10, 15 minutes in, and we're going to be closer to the bets. All right, guys? But I just like to talk about everything, get everything off the chest, all right? But I found out on Monday, the first day back to work, that a guy about a month and a half before I came back to work, fucking a guy got his arm chopped off, bro. What? Huh? He said, first day back, I go, I want another layoff. What the fuck are we talking about right here, dude? So what happened was, you may be wondering, and I'm going to tell you, listen in, subscribe. Oh, bitch. So what happened is you guys know scissor lifts, Skyjack scissor lifts. I got the lift needed some work on it or whatever. So the guy that works on all the lifts all the time, he comes. You can, if you guys don't work construction, you guys know the lifts. You tie off on them and you go up in the air. If you don't know, Google it right now. Pause it, go Google it, whatever. Blue collar babies, they already know. So he has the lift up in the air and he's fucking working on it. Well, he doesn't pull like any of the safety levers to have it not come down on him if he's sticking his hands into the base of the lift. So he sticks his hand in there, I guess, and the thing drops on him and severs his fucking arm off. And the apprentice we're working with, he's a second-year apprentice, says he was right next to him and had to pull his fucking arm out, and then and fucking whatever the fucking thing is or whatever. I've drawn a blank, said it too many times or whatever over the last couple of days explaining a tourniquet and fucking tie off his arm or whatever, and the guy lost his arm. What? Now, this would never happen. Like, if anything, I would probably fall off the lift or something or slice my fingers off or whatever because I work with a lot of knives and everything. And, I'm on the lift. If anything, the lift would, like, I would fall off and the lift would come crashing down and crush me. But, like, other than that, like, knock on wood, bro. But, the lift's never up in the air when I'm working, and I'm at the base of it, right? So, like, I was like, holy fuck, like, that's crazy. And if it's so repetitive, I mean, he probably does it all the time that he doesn't even think about it, and he just slipped up, or just like, oh, this will never happen to me, and it happened, and his arm got severed off. So that's crazy. But let's dive right to the Dr. Disrespect. I just want to touch on it real quick. You guys don't know who Dr. Disrespect is, just, skip through this, but he's a very influential YouTuber and streamer or whatever, and worked on video games for years, developing them, and ended up quitting that and becoming making this persona of Dr. Disrespect. And I mean, 2017, I think he ended up saying that he came out online or whatever on he went on stream not in his outfit and said that he was unfaithful to his wife and cheated on his wife, and then all of a sudden he was banned off Twitch a little bit after that or something, right? He took a break, and then a couple of years later was banned off of Twitch, and we're like, what the hell happened? Well, it comes out he was texting a 17-year-old or whatever and trying to meet up at a convention or whatever that Twitch was holding, and I'm like, man, at this point it could be anybody, dude. I mean, I have a lot of opinions on it. I kind of wait to hear more info, but it's looking really bad. I just wanted to touch on it and go man, it's really sad that some of the people that you really hold to high regard and you look up to, like, they've created their own thing, could be just, I don't want to say too much because I don't know all the info that has come out. So because I don't like to have to eat my words later. So I'm just going to say that's crazy, and what happened was insane, so we're not going to really touch on that. Let's get into this, though, dude. All right? Tony Stewart's having a baby. Now, if you guys have been around for NASCAR for a long time, we know how Tony Stewart is. He's got an attitude, all right? Guy flies off the handle, and he's got a pretty lady, right? I think her name's like Leia Pruitt or something. Pretty lady. Significantly, I think, younger than him. But, he's going to be one of those soccer dads. Like, he's going to be a racing dad, obviously. And his lady fucking races and everything, too, right? But, he's going to fucking, Chase Briscoe is going to have, he has kids, right? And he's having a kid right now. If Christopher Bell has kids, they're all, dirt track racers, right? And so is Tony Stewart. These kids are all going to show up. Just imagine. Tony Stewart's going to be, he's going to be old as fuck. He's going to be 70. And he's going to be punching Chase Briscoe in the face, Christopher Bell in the face when his kid and their kids are all battling each other and one hits another one. It's going to be like the crazy soccer dad or hockey dad out there or mom and loses their mind. That's going to be a hostile fucking environment there, dude. That's going to be a very hostile environment. I don't want to be around it. It's going to be crazy. Good for him. Strong nut. That's one thing I have to say. Those swimmers are strong, baby. I mean, obviously, she was probably getting a little later on in the whole, ordeal. She's like, we're pumping out babies here. I would have never thought growing up that Tony Stewart would have kids. It's like Kurt Busch. I think Kurt Busch at this point is probably not having kids either, and you just would assume that Tony Stewart was never going to have kids. Well, here we are, and I think he's having a boy, which is this is crazy, dude. I mean, by the time that kid, so 20 years, so I'll be 47, kid's gonna be 20, and he can be full-time racer. And I think was listening to Rubbin is Racing, and I think they said that Tony Stewart's 53. My God, he's going to be 73, bruh, when he's 20. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I'm going to bite my opinions on that one. That's kind of nuts. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a brand new dad at 53 or 54. That's kind of nuts. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring that up because that was in the news. That's fucking nuts. Also, Sam Mayer, now 21, sponsored by High Rock. High Rock is going to be at that, sponsoring him at that Atlanta race, which is probably going to be a boring fucking race. I was there for the spring race. Terrible fucking race. We're going to be bringing Sam Mayer some booze at Michigan. It's going to be a gift package. We'll have to sprinkle, I guess, to the rest of the drivers or whatever in the Junior Motorsports camp. But Sam Mayer will be getting some exclusive Canadian beverages and snacks because this man is now 21. We have to celebrate. Dude, he was celebrating his last win with a Nesquik bottle. Okay? Go to the Junior Motorsports social media. He's celebrating his Roto-Rooter car win, right? With everybody's drinking beers, and he has a bottle of Nesquik. Okay? Any other beverage. I can't remember if the last time I had a glass of milk and put like the powder of Nesquik in there and stirred it around, had a glass of Nesquik milk, chocolate milk, maybe 8 years old. Sam, you look like a young child, and we love you, Sam. This is great. This is great for you. Sam, if you're listening, we love you around here. You make us a lot of money. You're a nice fella. We dabbed up and we had our fucking shake and bake moment. But Nesquik, dude? What world are we living in that we're drinking Nesquik at the age of 20? And about a week later, you're turning 21. Okay, Sam. Good Lord, buddy. Maybe we should, instead of getting him booze, be like, here's a case of Nesquik, because this is the drink of choice if you're not having alcoholic beverages. This is nuts. That was just such a wild thing. I was the only one I felt like that noticed that. He's just standing there with a bottle of Nesquik, and I'm looking at it going, I zoomed in, I went, that motherfucker's drinking milk. Chocolate fucking milk. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't drink coffee, nor do I drink tea or anything like that. So if my friends, they go to, we have Tim Hortons here. You guys have fucking down in the States, wherever you guys are. There's Starbucks we have here as well, but you guys have like Dunkin' Donuts and everything. So if you go out, we go to Tim Hortons, right? It's the Canadian staple, right? Tim Horton was a hockey player, legendary Toronto Maple Leaf hockey player. Then they created a chain of restaurants. If you're in the north end of America, you already know they have Tim Hortons. I will go with them and I'll be like, anything you want? I go, nah, I could go for a chocolate dip donut and a chocolate milk. So, maybe I need to roll it back a little bit. Maybe we bring a thing of Nesquik and we cheers with Sam and then mix it with a little bit of vodka or something. Wouldn't that be nice right there? All right. We're getting crazy. We're getting off topic. How far in are we here? You guys have now made it. See, 15 minutes. See, didn't I say? I didn't lie? Did I? All right. We're getting to the bets. We're down at Nashville. The Truck Series races Friday night at 8 p.m. So by the time you guys are listening to this, obviously, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time zone. And I feel like I've got some good leans, baby. I got some good leans. I'm a little scared. Some of the numbers I do not like. Some of the numbers I do like, but I do like some outrights. And it seems to me that we've seen the lines of Corey Heim at plus 200. Yo, you're gonna fucking do what, dude? You're gonna put money on Corey Heim at plus 200? Don't do that. Don't ever do that. You want to know why? Because he qualifies fucking bad. Well, he doesn't qualify bad, but he qualifies in the teens usually, right? Christian Eckes qualifies usually very well. He qualifies outside the top 10 here on a consistent basis. We're going for guys that this is a different track, right? This is the only concrete track that they go to in the Truck Series, right? They don't go to Dover. But I'm looking at last year's race specifically to see who are the front runners, and we don't have a lot of the big names like a Zane Smith. And even when Zane Smith's coming down here, he hasn't been racing very well in those trucks. So we're looking at different lines. Now, I don't have the lines right in front of me right now, But I do know that Nick Sanchez is like the third favorite or whatever because he was really good here last year, and we're going to talk about him. And Caden Honey, they figured it out. Caden Honeycutt is like a plus 1,000 or plus 900 to win. You SOBs, huh? You SOBs. You shot him down. Caden, qualify bad because I want to be able to get better numbers on you, baby. And because, I mean, they figured Carson Hocevar won here last year, so you're sitting there like they are like worried about it. Bailey Curry, I think, finished top 5. So they have obviously that team has figured something out, Nice Motorsports. So, but we're not going to touch them right now. We're not going to touch them. We're going to look at some other Chevrolets because it seems to me that like Corey Heim doesn't really drive the best here. And Christian Eckes doesn't drive the best here either. So we're going to look at some other guys that are, some really good plays, I think, to get early on before they qualify really well. And they usually qualify pretty damn good on this style of track. I mean, it's like it's not a mile and a half, but it's 1.3 miles. Kind of races like a mile and a half, but it's also concrete and a little high tire wear. So I like the guys that usually kind of show up at the mile and a halves. And it seems like this is a Chevrolet kind of track, right? So we're starting off with just saying, wait on Tyler Ankrum. Now, on this podcast, we know that he is the big noggin dude. Okay, when you see him in person, you go, good Lord, that man needs an extra, extra, extra large helmet. It's way too big of a dome. Shave it down, get some surgery, shave down the cranium, because it's fucking ginormous. You see it online, you go, you know what? That is kind of big, but it's maybe it's just the camera angle. It's not. You go there in person and you go, bitch, why is I got to see the parents. I got to see the kuka. I got to see the birthing video. Was his head that big when he came out of the vaginal canal? I need to know. I need to know this fucking information here, dude, because this is crazy. Anywho, don't get crazy with it, Eric. But I just want to say, we're waiting on Tyler Ankrum. Okay, well, let me pull up the numbers here, bitches. We're really feeling ourselves tonight. This is where I'm calling people bitches and stuff. Tyler Ankrum here, all right? You ready for this? Last 2 races, 7th and 8th. He's qualified 16th and 17th. In 2021, he qualified 7th and finished 23rd. If he qualifies inside the top 10, so be it, right? And maybe we take a stab at him, but if his odds are too short, I'm not gonna bother touching him. But if he qualifies in the mid-teens like he did the last 2 years, he's finished 7th and 8th, just outside of the top 5. We're gonna be looking at a bit of a longer number. I think he's sitting around plus 350 or so, plus 400 for a top 5. I want to see if it'll drift out just a little bit. I think he doesn't have the talent or the speed to be able to win the race. He started off the year really, really strong, really, really strong. Finished second at Vegas as well, right? Started off really strong. He has some fast trucks sometimes, not the race winning speed or has the talent, I don't think, to win. Definitely when you have guys like Corey Heim and Christian Eckes in the field that are, stealing wins left, right, and center, and then Nick Sanchez that can feel the track on his butt cheeks and just hug a corner and find where, the speed's at. We're going to get into him in a second, that little fella. Also looks like a child. But looks like Jimmy Neutron. Let's be real. But Tyler Ankrum, man, I think he can figure it out to be able to get inside the top 5. We don't have that big of a hefty field. Christian Eckes and Corey Heim don't run the best here over the last 2 years. So I think he can be inside the top 5. I'm just praying that he qualifies bad, that we can get a better number. Now, am I going to be able to watch this race? Probably not. I'll be at the local short track Friday night with my grandpa and a buddy of mine. So I'll be checking in and out or whatever while watching some live short track racing for our Canada Day long weekend. But I'll definitely get the plays up earlier on the early end before the race. Just Tyler Ankrum just seems like a good number where he's just sometimes he can't be trusted. So don't bet your life savings on it, but just sprinkle on it. I think he can figure it out, right? So let's get into the real plays. Tanner Gray. Now, Taylor Gray, his brother, has kind of just fell off. We have a theory, some of my buddies, we have a theory that he's really more focused on getting an Xfinity ride next year. And he's kind of just fell off. And he also doesn't race really well here either. And where he doesn't run well, he doesn't run well. Like he hasn't figured it out. So I'm going to hold off on Taylor Gray, but Tanner Gray. He qualifies just outside of the top 10, and he's finished just outside of the top 10. But for a top 5 number at plus 1,200, where some chaos and calamity can happen, right? Some bullshit can happen, definitely in these races. And it seems like Tanner Gray, just running outside the top 10, I feel like he could figure it out. And it seems like this is a Chevy track, but it may be just tiny sprinkle. I'm going to put like 0.1 of a unit, 0.2 of a unit, just to have a little bit of fun with it. I like the Gray brothers. I like it to be on one of them. And you hope that Tanner Gray can figure it out, because Taylor is, pushed leaps and bounds farther than him, at least at the beginning of the year, and kind of always been a little bit farther ahead than Tanner. But I want to see Tanner get the option, and it's just like there's plenty of these options where these really good drivers like Corey Hyman, Christian Eckes, and we're not even mentioning Ty Majeski around here because he's dog poop. Ben Rhodes hasn't ran very well. Older boys like Stuart Friesen just are not consistent. So these guys, I think, have an opportunity. These longer shot guys, Bailey Curries. I mean, there's guys that run really well that come to a track like this, and like this is our opportunity to show up. I think of Tanner Gray. Also, one bet that I did not make a fucking note here is Chase Purdy. I think is plus 100 or plus 105 on Caesar Sportsbook. I'm taking him over Stuart Friesen. Stuart Friesen and him have both finished in the mid-teens. But I think last year, Chase Purdy, let me see if I can find it here for you guys. Chase Purdy's actually, I think he finished inside the top 10. So let me just pull it up here. Stuart Friesen finished inside the top 10 the last two out of three races or whatever here. But like Stuart Friesen has not figured it out. He's also had really, really bad luck. He'll qualify well and you'll just go, oh my God, Stuart Friesen, and gets caught up in some bullshit. So last year, Chase Purdy finished 6th. He finished 13th and 15th, progressively getting better and better and better. His first year racing here in Nashville, 15th finish. 13th the next year, 6th the next year. He's in Spire Motorsports vehicle, right? Truck. Raja Caruth, I think, is going to be good here. Nick Sanchez and their team have an alliance as well with that. Through Rev Racing and Spire Motorsports. I'm pretty sure it's with Spire Motorsports as well. So I think that they're all going to be doing good here. They're going to have similar setups, and they're all talking to each other. I think as long as the only thing that scares me is Chase Purdy qualifies outside of the top 10. And sometimes you can pull it, right? So this is why I want to get in on him early. I might even try and look at like a top 5 number out. Like I think he's at plus 800. I'm going to take a tiny bite. You know what? Now that I'm talking about it, tiny little bite on the top 5 market for Chase Purdy. Maybe a little sprinkle on a top 3. And not crazy heavy on the matchup of plus 100 on Caesars over Stuart Friesen. But I just think that those Spire trucks are going to show up here, and it's a Chevy day. So they showed up. I think they're going to show up, and definitely with some late race cautions, he can really move up through the field, and it seems like that's when he makes the most of it, is these late race cautions. But it's a matter of don't bet your whole life on it, because he will be running mid pack, and he could get caught up in all the nonsense. So don't bet your life savings on it, right? So Chase Purdy plus 100 over Stuart Friesen. I would take it now. I think they're going to qualify probably around the same as each other, and then it's just a sweaty battle to the end. Okay, so then we have outrights. I'm just on 2 right now. I just want to see how people qualify, see what the numbers drift, but I want to get in on these guys early. I want to talk about Raja Caruth. We're wearing the T-shirt. The fucking Hendrick.com truck is going to be looking speedy fast. All right, Raja qualified very well here last year in the 24. Has never led a lap, leads his first lap, and immediately the engine starts having an issue. And then that was a heartbreak. I think he had the truck to win that night. I think he was going to be extremely fast. I think he was going to figure it out. Then we had to wait to Vegas to get his first win. But 16-1. hear me out. If he qualifies bad, I want to take a little bit even more on him. I think Raj is going to be able to figure it out. He should have been a race-winning contender. Was probably a top 3 truck. Better than Christian Eckes, better than Corey Heim, better than Zane Smith, better than a Carson Hocevar, even though Carson Hocevar ended up winning the race, who was also a Chevrolet driver last year in the Truck Series. I think Raj is going to be able to figure it out. He's coming back for redemption. I posted on my Instagram, @furlongeric_, that Raja Karuth is coming back for redemption to be able to get that win. And he races so well. And when he shows up on tracks, he shows up on tracks. And when he doesn't, he falls back. But he started off really hot, won at Vegas. There was a lot of things that had to happen to be able to get him to get the lead. But he had a fast truck. He maintained his tires. He can figure it the fuck out. And Raja Karuth at 16-1 is going to be beautiful because he also qualifies usually very, very well on a 1.5 mile style of track. I know this is not exactly a 1.5 mile, but he qualified well here last year. So did his teammate Nick Sanchez. So those two guys qualify consistently very well on these style of tracks, because this is a concrete track. But seems like they figured it. Raja Karuth figured it out last year. Didn't get the full race. So don't look at his finish there. 16-1, I think, is a beautiful number because if he does qualify really well, I think it's going to get chopped down. Now, if you're hesitant, I don't think, even if he qualifies inside the top 5, I think he'll go down to like a 12-1. So if you're okay with taking that, I think you'll be just fine. But I just want to get in on him early. And if he qualifies bad, I'm taking top 5 numbers. I'm taking top 3 numbers. He's going to find a way. I'll even take plus money matchups. I'm going all over Raja. We're riding Raja all the way to the end, baby. So Raja Karuth plus 1,600 on Bet365 is the best number you can find. Now let's talk about this man. Motherfucking Nick Sanchez. Now, Nick Sanchez here, he's raced one time here. Qualified on the pole, finished 3rd. He's going to figure it out this year. Now, I mean, this is why you have to hunt the books. He's plus 600 or plus 650 on other books. He's plus 750 on Caesars. Now, hear me out. You're going, well, Corey Heim, Ty Majeski, Christian Eckes. We talked about it already. They do not show up on this track. They have not figured it out yet. Maybe they will. And if you beat me, you beat me. But Nick Sanchez and this Spire team have figured out fucking something on this track, and they're coming to win this year. More experience behind the wheel, more experience on track, everything. More speed, it seems to be consistently in these trucks. We're taking him. I want him to fucking have a better number for like top 5s and stuff. But we're gonna, because if I'm gonna get on a plus 750 on Caesar Sportsbook, and if he qualifies bad, we're taking top 5 number and we're hammering the shit out of it. If you guys see after practice and qualifying, if he qualifies bad and there's a plus 200 number out there for Nick Sanchez top 5, lock it down. Bet half of your life savings on it. He's going to figure it out. He's going to make it to the front. Nick Sanchez got speed. So those are the plays for the truck series. This is the breakdown for the trucks. All right, we got the Raja Karuth t-shirt on. Go to the YouTube. Check it out, Hot Pass Podcast on YouTube. So these are the plays. We've got wait on Tyler Ankrum. Wait till he qualifies, maybe, and then go take him maybe for like a top 5. That's what I'm thinking is a top 5 number. That's nice, right? That's nice for you. That's nice for me. Make some money. We have Chase Purdy over Stuart Friesen on Caesar Sportsbook at plus 100. We got Tanner Gray plus 1,200 for a top 5. And then what else did I have? I was thinking about a Chase Purdy top 5 as well. And then Raja Karuth plus 1,600 on Bet365 outright. Nick Sanchez plus 750 on Caesar Sportsbook. That's the place for the truck series, baby. Now, let's Speedy Gonzalez on through the Xfinity series because it's such a stacked field. Now, let me pull it up. Let me pull up the... Oh, no, I got rid of it by accident. Let's go over here. Because the NASCAR, the Xfinity race is mid-afternoon, I think. Yeah, 3:00. Oh, no. Okay, 5 o'clock. That's not bad. Let me go to Bobby Pox here. Bob Pockris. I just want to see the lineup here for... Because this is a crazy lineup, dude. All right. God damn you. Okay. Just 1 second, you little fuckers. What the hell is going on here? Show me the frickin' lineup. Where the hell is the lineup for this shit? Okay, whatever. Well, I'm going to keep talking while I find this. Because I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Oh, Bob, you're really starting to piss me off here, bro. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find the fucking Xfinity lineup. Like, what the hell is going on here? Oh, there it is. So, this is the fucking lineup for this fucking race, dude. So, we've got the added guys in here, all right? Are you ready? I'm going to read this off. We got Ty Gibbs, Tyler Reddick, John Hunter Nemechek, Ross Chastain, and Noah Gragson. Anybody else? Well, Carson Kvapil's also in here too. So those are some big fucking names in this race. So we're going to just name off a couple of guys real quick. Nothing too crazy on this race because it could be chaos, but you also have big dogs in here. And John Hunter Nemechek or Ty Gibbs could go just run away with the race. So we took a couple early bets. If you guys follow me at Furlong Eric _, you guys know that we already took AJ Allmendinger, but we're going to get into that in a second. So an early race up matchup is Carson Kvapil at +100. I think this was on. I didn't write it down. You know, sometimes I'm fucking stupid, aren't I? Huh? Don't agree with that either. I know you guys are like, yeah, he is fucking retarded. Don't do that, huh? Don't do that. Don't disrespect me, please. I'm smacking the microphone. He is stupid. So I think that was on Caesars. Carson Kvapil over Sammy Smith at +100. Sammy Smith does not show up on these kind of tracks. I don't see it. Carson Kvapil finished top 5, almost won the goddamn race at Dover, which is also a concrete track, which is a very similar track to this. It's one of the main comparisons. So I just feel like it's going to be a good one. Even if he doesn't qualify well, I still think he can beat Sammy Smith. So I'm going to put probably like 2 units on that. We'll have fun with it. Be able to make all our money back from the top 5 if our top 5 and our outright plays don't hit. But the top 5 play, I'm actually really shocked to see these numbers, is Riley Herbst. Now, Riley Herbst almost won the Xfinity race at Dover as well, and it again spun out late in the race. But his last 2 finishes here at Nashville, 2022, 3rd, 2023, 2nd. He also qualified in 2022. He qualified 1st, and he qualified 5th last year. This guy has figured it out. He almost won the Dover race. So I'm going to take him at +350 for on Bet365, and I'm going to put about a full unit, maybe a unit and a half on Riley Herbst's top 5. Now, it's going to be a stacked field. I know we're all worried about Stuart Haas, but then we saw Cole Custer have the best car last week in the Xfinity race and then lose the race. They're not giving up on these teams. They're going to have 2 Xfinity teams. I said it on Monday or last week in the Friday morning betting show that they're not giving up on these guys. They're keeping the Xfinity rides. So they're still out there driving hard. I think Riley Herbst can figure it out. Now, he can be make or fucking break. You know, sometimes you're just like, Riley, God damn it, you couldn't have just fucking mind your own P's and Q's. Or just get out of the way. Now, he almost, the race that Sam Mayer just won, Riley Herbst almost won that fucking race. So, Riley Herbst has been good. I think he can do this. +350 is a great number for the last couple of stats. And then him racing on a similar track at Dover and almost winning the race. So I think it's good. I think this is a great fucking number. So Riley Herbst is +350 on Bet365. Need I say more? Because I think he's going to probably qualify well. He's qualified well the last 2 races here. And he qualified well at Dover, which is the similar track. So I'm just basing it off what we've seen from Riley Herbst on the stat sheet here. And at Dover Speedway, okay? Also, I'll drink a Monster in his name Saturday afternoon. How about that? That'd be kind of nice of me, wouldn't it? And also, there's UFC fights. And I actually should give you guys a pick or 2 for that. And just see if I can remember at the end. Because we still have Cup Series to talk about, all right? Then the outrights, I mean, there's nothing I really hate more than seeing John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Gibbs both in a race and then having to, choose one of these fucking dudes. But we'll talk about AJ Allmendinger. I got him super early on Bet Rivers. Now, AJ Allmendinger won this race last year. Colleague fucking sucks nutsack. But I saw Chris Rice, the president, right? I saw him doing upside down pull-ups on these rings. And I'm like, this motherfucker's 50, dude. I said, that's the turnaround for Colleague right now. That's the TSN turning point is what they would call it. Sports Center turning point, whatever the fuck you guys call it in the States. We have TSN up here. That's a TSN turning point. Upside down pull-ups. He said his back was sore. He had back problems, and now he's doing pull-ups upside down. This is the moment Colleague could figure it out. Now, the Colleague cars both really drove really well last year here, and so maybe I hope they're bringing the same fucking cars. I mean, it has been an absolute disastrous year in the Cup Series for them and Xfinity. So I put a little sprinkle on it. I'm not even touching the top 5. I'm not touching nothing because AJ Allmendinger could have a car all day. And I think, I can't remember, what was it, Texas or something? No, Texas, he finished top 5. It was another race. Kansas, I think. Kansas, he fucking was top 5 all day and the car fucking dies on him or whatever. And I'm like, bro. What? So I'm not even touching the top 5 market because I don't want to fucking die on that hill. I'll die on the Riley Herbst hill because he's a nice guy and he's not consistent, but he's a nice fella. His family was very nice. And, we enjoy monsters. We're low-key Kyle around here punching holes in drywall. For the people that understand that joke. You drink monsters for sure. It's just AJ Allmendinger is just, God, you got it. I don't know. Colleague. It's a TSN turning point. That's all I have to say. I'm rambling on now. So at 40-1 on Bet Rivers, that's long gone. I think the best number you can find is 25-1. I just tweeted it was like way different than every other book. Every other book had him 20 or 25-1, and all of a sudden I picked him up at 40-1. I was like, I'll have fun with that. It's too long of a number that a guy that won here last year and shows up on high tire wear tracks. One guy I was thinking about was like Parker Kligerman at some crazy numbers for like a top 5, but just a stacked field. I mean, because we talked about it, road courses and high tire wear. And this is one of those high tire wear tracks. He didn't run really the best here last year either, Parker Kligerman. So we'll take a look at it. Maybe take a little tiny little sprinkle on him for a top 5, maybe a top 3. But it's like this field is just so stacked with all these big dogs. I just don't think he can run up there with them unless some big crash happens. And there's going to be a late race caution in these fucking races. So AJ Allmendinger, 40-1. Riley Herbst. Now, Riley Herbst is, I think, 14 or 16-1 on Caesars. He's 20-1 on other books, and I found him at 25-1 on Bet365. We talked about him for the top 5. We talked about his history at Dover, and we talked about his history here at Nashville over the last 2 years. 25-1 feels like a great number because if he qualifies really well, that's going to be hack and slash down to that 14-1, maybe a 12-1, and you're going to be regretting it because that's hacked right in half. So we like a Riley Herbst 25-1, a little sprinkle baby on it, and we're going to enjoy that if it cashes good. Good Lord, it's going to be a good day, but he has to drive that other he has to race that other monster driver. And that is Ty Gibbs. We're taking Ty Gibbs. We don't like John Hunter Nemechek around here. He comes down to the Cup Series or the Xfinity Series and he wins races, but he does absolute dog shit and wrecks other people. In the Cup Series, we don't touch it. We touch God's Son. When we go on God's Son on Ty Gibbs, we win money. We've won a lot of money when he comes down here. So Ty Gibbs, don't fuck this up. I will pray to the Lord Almighty on Saturday afternoon that you win this race. And we also have Riley Herbst. And we have a monster party with some beasts. We have some monster energy drinks, and we just partied hard in Victory Lane with a bunch of money, and we're all having a good time. Okay, so Ty Gibbs plus 350. Somebody's got plus 450 somewhere. I saw. I never saw that, but I will bet my my hard-earned money on a plus 350 for Ty Gibbs outright. I think he's just going to race really well here. Toyotas have been so good. And Ty Gibbs comes out of the Xfinity Series. I think he's going to be able to dominate. It's just a matter of pit crews. And that's pretty much it. I think he can be able to stay out front and drive all day. So it'll be Ty Gibbs plus 350. But you can find him everywhere. Because if he qualifies out front, that shit's going to be like plus 100. And I want to be on it early. Okay. So I like that number. So those are the Xfinity bets, and then we're going to touch on Cup real quick, and then I'll give you guys a play that I like for UFC, and then we'll finish it all off, all right? So recap on the Xfinity bets. Carson Kvapil over Sammy Smith, plus 100. I think it was on Caesars. Riley Herbst, plus 350 for a top 5 on Bet365. Xfinity outrights, AJ Allmendinger, 40-1 on Bet Rivers. I would not touch a 25-1 that he's sitting out there at now. Riley Herbst, 25-1 on Bet365. And then Ty Gibbs, plus 350, available everywhere. So those are the Xfinity Cup or Xfinity bets. Let's go right on over to Cup Series. I don't have much. I want to see how everybody kind of plays out, see what numbers that we kind of get after practice and qualifying, because the numbers are absolute dog shit this week. I don't like any of them. There was a bunch of drivers. I think there was like 8 or 9 drivers under plus 1,000 this week for the outright market, and there's some guys that have some availability out there that I really like. But just tiny sprinkles. I just want to see how practice and qualifying goes. Also, we're supposed to get rain on Sunday in Nashville, which kind of sucks. So I'm going light. I'm hoping to win some. I got some pole bets for you. I hope to win some money on the pole bets and or on win money Friday, Saturday, and then not have to give a fuck about the Cup Series on Sunday, because if there is rain, I do not want any of the rain bullshit that we've had over the last 2 weeks, and it's just hurt us financially in the Cup Series market. Any kind of rain races has just hurt us. So let's start on the top 10 market. Ricky Stenhouse has got 2 top 10s, I think, in a row. I mean, and he's still hanging around at plus 1,200 on Bet365. It's going to be a tiny little half-unit sprinkle. Have some fun with it. If it hits, it hits. It's a beautiful day. Okay. He kind of just shows up on these high tire wear tracks, and if there's some rain and some late race cautions and chaos and calamity going on, I think he can find it. I don't really have an explanation on it. Just it seems he's really streaky, kind of like Bubba Wallace and some other drivers. So if he ends up being streaky and continues this and continues it, plus 1,200 for a top 10 or whatever is beautiful. And don't bet your life savings on it, please, for the love of God. Please don't put your trust in Ricky. He's a nice guy, but don't bet your house on it, please. Because then you're gonna be coming to me, Eric. I put my mortgage on it, and then he ended up finishing 11th, or he crashed on lap 1, and he got mad with Kyle. Kyle Busch decided to get his revenge on him. You can't have that. So Ricky Stenhouse top 10 plus 1,200, just a tiny wee little sprinkle. Dip your toe into the water and go, ooh, it's a little cold. I'm backing out. Bubba Wallace plus 250 on Bet365 for a top 10 is a beautiful number. Bubba Wallace, I don't know what the fuck's going on in that camp. It's really starting to really piss me off as a Bubba Wallace fan, and I'm wearing the 2311 hat. I just want to see some good days, and hopefully this is a start to a streaky time for him. We've got some tracks that can favor him a little bit coming up, and then we have a little bit of a break, and then the summer break for the Olympics, and maybe we can turn it around, but they really need some points. The only thing that hurts me is he might have a points day and stay out and stuff. So we're going to sprinkle a wee bit on a top 10. And this is the issue with later on in the season betting on these kind of guys that are at that line of not having a win in the bank and looking for points to point their way in if they can't end up winning a race, or they don't think they can win a race. And that's one of those guys is Bubba Wallace at this point. I don't know what the fuck's going on. That camp, it is just so bad, dude. So plus 250 where he's sitting around plus 115 or plus 120 on many other books. I just like the line discrepancy that Bet365 kind of just tosses out numbers and doesn't really change them very quickly. So plus 250 I feel like it's just a good number. I'm going to keep going till I can win my money back on him getting finally a top 10. He hasn't really done well here, but it's kind of a mile and a half. Was running okay at Dover, then ends up getting taken out by his own teammate, runs into Zane Smith and then takes him out with that beautiful Air Force car, and I think he could have been a top 10 car. So I'm really hoping, I think the Toyos are going to be really good this weekend. A big bounce back, hopefully, for Truex and Denny Hamlin. We're not really the biggest fans of those guys, but I think that like the 23-11 guys need to start showing up. It's been a bad couple of weeks for these guys, and I think they'll be able to turn it around starting this weekend. So that's that. Now, we're going to talk about Bubba Wallace again on the outright market. It's just a crazy long number for should be a good car. So plus 6,000 on Bet Rivers and Bet MGM to win the race. I'm going to just sprinkle ever so slightly on it, maybe $10. It's just I don't think he can win the race because Kyle Larson's going to be probably good. William Byron's going to be good. Denny Hamlin. Do I need to keep going on? The names of the guys are going to probably be really good. And it's going to be hard to beat these guys. I think they're just so good on a consistent basis. Yeah, and some of them have had a bad couple of weeks so far. But they're going to be looking to bounce back on this race at Nashville. That's for sure. So I think it's going to be some of the big names. But if something crazy happens, the rain and stuff or whatever happens, and then they can kind of figure something out with the car. Maybe some pit issues with some other guys happens, and then Bubba can somehow figure out that they know how to put wheels on properly and everything. They don't have pit issues. Bubba might be able to win the race. And I think at some point he's going to come out and he's going to shock some people with a win like he does every once in a blue moon, right? And at 60-1, it just keeps drifting out farther and farther and farther for him. And I'm just going to sprinkle ever so slightly on it. Because if he wins and I don't have a ticket on it, I'm going to be pissed. So this is a personal bias on my end. So 60-1 on Bet Rivers and Bet MGM. William Byron, 12-1 on Caesars. He's like 10-1 on some books, 9-1 on some books. I mean, William Byron's had pretty good finishes here over the out of the last 3 years that we've been here. Last year, I think he ended up finishing really well here. I think I might have pulled up the numbers here. Yeah, so in 2021, obviously we're in the Gen 6 car, but he finished third. The first year here at Nashville, he finished 35th, but last year finished 6th. Starting fifth. Jeez Louise, did I just bang on the microphone? What was that? He ends up finishing, he qualifies pretty good here for the most part, other than that first time here in the Gen 7 car, which I kind of just give it a bit of a fluke because it is the first time they're there in that car. William Byron's had a bad couple of weeks, man. He has not been very good, and maybe this is the old William Byron coming out again. But he's too good and too good of a car and won so many races that he should be winning more races and being up front, being in the top 5, dominating. And if we get that rain, these late race restarts, late race caution, William Byron seems to fucking be there and he goes out and wins races. It's like Kyle Larson and William Byron fucking do that all the time and just steal wins. So plus 1,200 on Caesar Sportsbook is a beautiful number. We were getting him at plus 700, plus 800 for weeks on end. And I'm like, I'm not fucking touching that. And then he would go win a race. And I'm like, this is our opportunity. This is one of the guys that I can never fucking hit for some reason. So just, mind that. I've never been able to hit a fucking William Byron outright bet for the life of me. And we all have those drivers. I've talked about it in the past that we all have these fucking drivers where you just can never hit them, right? And I felt that way about Sheldon Creed. And now we hit him top 3s and top 5s now and everything, right? So you got to hit him in different markets. So we, I skipped over the William Byron top 5. I have him plus 160. I'm hammering the shit out of that. I feel good about that one because he's going to qualify well. So, top 5, William Byron plus 160 on Bet365. Beautiful number. Love it. I wish I could get plus 200, but I like the plus 160. So, yeah, William Byron, we're all over him. I feel like it's just too good of a car. Late race restarts, late race cautions. He's going to be clean. He keeps his car clean. He's there at the end of the race. Finishing 6th here last year, and out of the 2 out of 3 races, he's finished in the top 6. I like that. And those are beautiful numbers. And he's drifted out a little bit now for us. This is good. Even if he has a bad week, we're going to hit him another week, and we're going to be able to make some money on him. And he's going to qualify well. He qualified 5th here last year. So let's get into that. Those are the main bets. So top 10, Ricky Stenhouse plus 1,200 on Bet365. Bubba Wallace plus 250 on Bet365 for a top 10. Top 5, William Byron plus 160. I feel like is a beautiful number. God, I wish it was plus 200. Bubba Wallace 60-1 on Bet Rivers and Bet MGM on the outright. And William Byron 12-1 on Caesar Sportsbook. And then let's go to the poll bets. There's no race matchups. There's no qualifying matchups that I like this week. There's just nothing. But I think there's some opportunities for some longer shot Toyotas to win the pole and William Byron to go get the pole. I don't think Chase Elliott's going to get the pole. Kyle Larson or Denny Hamlin's probably going to be one of the guys that is going to hurt us, but we're going to pick the other guys and sprinkle on them to see if they can get ahead of them. And I think they're going to be really close. One of these guys are probably going to finish second or third, and it's going to be very close, and it very well could be Kyle Larson or Denny Hamlin. Now, I'm not saying, if you guys want to bet on qualifying every week, you want to bet on Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin every week, be my fucking guest, right? They're going to be really good. I think even Christopher Bell might, last minute, I might sprinkle a little bit on Christopher Bell because he could qualify really, really well here. It's not technically a mile and a half, but it's close to it, and he's like a mile and a half qualifying on the pole fucking king. So I might have to go listen to my boys at the Lay and Coin podcast and see what my boy Zach has to say from Highline Betting to see what his qualifying bet is. So maybe go over to the Lay and Coin podcast and listen to them and see if Zach says anything on there. Because if he says Christopher Bell, hammer it then. Swap out William Byron from my pick and then take fucking Christopher Bell. So here's my quick poll bets, and then we'll give you a UFC pick. Poll bet, William Byron, 9-1 on Bet Rivers. Tyler Reddick, 10-1 on Bet 365. And Ty Gibbs, 16-1 on Bet Rivers. And Bubba Wallace, 33-1 on Bet Rivers. Okay? Those are those. Just sprinkle on. I'm going to put 0.3 units or 0.4 units on every single one. Put whatever you want on it, $10, $20 on it, and just sprinkle on it and have some fun. See, it's nice to just watch that on a Saturday and sweat out a couple of bets on it. Because Christopher Bell very well could go win the fucking pole and keep his heater going, dude. But I like the way William Byron qualifies here, and these Toyotas are going to be good, and I think they're going to qualify inside the top 10, so they're going to fucking be there. So here's a possibility of them being able to get the pole. High possibility, and I think all four of these guys are going to be inside the top 10 for qualifying. So now you have 4 out of the 10 guys inside the top 10, the final 10. So I like that. Those are good odds. That's almost half of the guys. But obviously Kyle Larson or Denny Hamlin could hurt us. So that is the betting card for this weekend. Make sure to have your note and your pen and paper every single week when you're writing them down. Trucks and Xfinity are always exclusive to the Friday Morning Betting Show. If it's your first time listening, there you go. If not, you guys have heard this before. At about an hour or so before the Trucks or Xfinity race, I'll pop out my my betting card, full betting card. But this is why I had to listen to it early to be able to get the early picks, because you don't want to be frantically scrambling around downloading apps, waiting to get accepted or whatever if you're trying to look for better lines an hour before the race. You don't want that. So make sure to follow me here on the Hot Pass podcast notification. I'm going to give you a UFC pick just in a sec, but I'm just breaking it all down. It'll be the very last thing I say, and then we'll clear it out. But make sure to go to the Hot Pass podcast, wherever you get your audio podcast. Give us a rating there. Like and share and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube as well at Hot Pass Podcast. We're going to get this up Friday afternoon for you guys for the visuals. I know I didn't get Mondays out. It's just been a hectic week getting back to work. Go to @FurlongEric_ on social media and follow me there. Go to the Action Network, see all my Cup Series bets or any kind of bets, whether it's football, fucking Euro Cup right now. We're really murdering the scene on. And then, just make sure to go to the Action Network. The link is in the bio on all my social medias. And make sure to follow me at @FurlongEric_ to see all my tweets during the day, my social media posts, reels on TikTok, whatever it is, Instagram and X. And then, make sure to just show some love on a weekly fucking basis, baby. And if you're a new listener, I appreciate you guys listening to me, all right? This is great. Next week, I also want to say, high probability. Spider from Rubbin' is racing. Him and I have been talking over social media, talking to each other. He's going to try. He's got a busy week this week. We were going to try and have him on today, but no can do. He has a very busy week because they're heading down to Nashville, but he's saying he's going to try and make sure he can come on for next week's Friday Morning Betting Show. So Spider from Barstool Sports, get hyped and get ready. We're going to make some bags in Chicago. He's going to be there. I will not be. till Michigan, and we'll maybe be able to do some social media stuff when we're down at fucking Michigan in August. But that's been the Hot Pass Podcast. I'm going to give the UFC pick right now. Michael Venom Page over Ian Gary. Michael Venom Page at plus like 130. Hunt the books. If anything, no matter what, take him at plus money. I think it's Michael Venom Page is an absolute wizard. He's going to fucking give Ian Gary, I think it's his first loss. Michael Venom Page is a real deal, man. I don't bet on UFC anymore, but when I'm confident in somebody, I put money on him. So Michael Venom Page, I'm going to put a full unit on him and ride or die with the boy from England. All right? That's been the Hot Pass Podcast. I love you guys. Enjoy your weekend. It's Canada Day weekend here. And then next weekend, obviously, you guys have your July 4th weekend if you're from the States. All right? So I'm going to enjoy my long weekend. Hopefully make some more bags this weekend. And enjoy every single day like it's your last baby. We'll talk to you guys later. See you. Peace.